Hey family, this is Marley K. Hope everybody is well. Today I want to talk to you about Project 2025. I'm gonna talk to you from a totally different perspective, like I like to do on this channel. But what I don't want you to do is get all caught up in if Republicans get back into power, these things are gonna happen. I am a old Southern auntie black woman. So to me, there ain't nothing new under the sun. It's just, like I've been talking about the end of the second Reconstruction era. Basically, white people, regardless of the party, have an agenda or the powers that be or whatever you want to call them. But for black people, African American black people, there ain't no good side, there ain't no good team. We shouldn't be rooting for either one of these parties because if you go with the liberal agenda, you're going to lose control of your children. Your children are being trained to be deviant. Let's just say that. They're being programmed to be deviant. You see the alphabet Luciferian agenda coming from that side. You see the anti-Messiah, anti God, anti moral, anti family, anti everything that is good and decent as far as like humanity is concerned, coming from that side. Well, on this side, this is a very anti black, anti Judah, anti African American agenda. This is a white preservation, status quo, uh, save the fallen, the children of the corn, the fallen angel children as best we can. And because of the awakening, people are starting to wake up. I don't think enough people are waking up. Prime example, I went home this weekend to visit my dad. And so, of course, the TV is on MSNBC, and I'm just like, oh God. And so, they were talking about Paw being taken off the ticket, which is nothing more than a distraction because they knew that Joker was old and fool and corrupt, uh, some time ago. But now, all of a sudden, it's an issue, and it's an issue because people have awakened. He's getting worse. He's like terrible. And black people can see now, oh, everybody been helped over these last 3 years except for us. And everybody has used us all this time and gotten what they needed except for us. And now the country is going to hell in a handbasket. And everybody's like, oh, well, we need black people so we can get this person back in power. So like the jig is up. Everybody is black. It's not everybody. A lot of black people, especially young black people, are starting to see, hey, no, ain't nobody good. But my dad, them were like, no matter whatever I said negative about Biden or Harris, they were just like quiet. No matter what, they're going to vote Republican, and they're going to find some issue with Trump to not vote, to justify the vote, even though neither party is doing anything for black people. And so, no matter how much I went down the bushes about just everything about the Democratic Party, about Papa himself and his racist stuff, anti-black, especially anti-black young male, anti-black men, like they're very targeted. They know who we are. And you could tell now that, we're awakened, we could tell each side knows who we are based on their policies, based on who they appoint to benches, based on the legislation that they create, based on who they help, based on the immigrant groups they allow to come here. They know who we are. That's why Africans can come here, but from certain countries, but Haitians can't come here uh, because they're scared they're gonna help us have an uprising up here, and God forbid if the natives get restless, the nigger natives, the white natives can get racist, but not the nigger natives. We can't do that. So there's a rhyme and a reason for everything that they do. And so this whole Project 2025 thing, you know, in my opinion, it is just, this is how we should look at it. If it's an insurance plan for in the event that the liberals don't get in office. So each side you got to rile up. Each side has an agenda. Each side has lobbyists and hands that are pulling the strings and paying off the politicians so that they'll do whatever. And if they're not successful at keeping us asleep, if they're not successful at making us be empathetic to other people and other agendas except for our own, then they knock them out of the way, especially Black people. That's what happened to Jamal Bowman. That's what happened to Fannie Willis. That's what happened to a whole lot of these other Black politicians who are in, positions, who have been groomed to uh, be the DEI showcasers and mislead, give Black people the feeling that we had some power, we were moving up. Well, those people haven't been successful because we are waking up to the fact that the whole system is a sham. And so because we're waking up, a lot of these tools, these Black supremacists, Black white supremacists are being broken. So um, on the left, that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the Black white supremacists being broken. The tools are being broken because they're no longer useful tools. On the right, with this Project 2025, you're seeing this is an insurance plan for the powers that be, so they can finish stacking the courts, they can finish dismantling the system. All the gains that we got or appeared to get during the civil rights era, they are being rolled back. And we're headed back to a Jim Crow, almost slave code, black code type of era where Black people are going to be excluded from the society that exists. And so you're not only excluded, but you're going to be poisoned because there's um, a lot of rulings that are coming out of the Supreme Court that most of our people are really not aware of, that are going to impact us negatively. It's going to cause us to be sick. Um, it's going to cause us to be in poverty more because without protections for employment, and because a lot of us go to work for other people, we don't work for ourselves, we are going to be poorer. We're going to have to rely on the system. You're going to rely on public assistance. Um, we're going to have higher birth rates because if they get rid of the abortion, and in no way am I advocating for abortion, but I'm just saying because the tool is there, they're getting rid of abortion and birth control to preserve their numbers. It will impact us too, which means we're going to have more children born into poverty because there are fewer fathers in the home. As you know, the system does not reward folks with welfare for being attached to the men, and then the men, even if if the mother gets any type of public assistance, then the father is charged child support. That money is taken from him. It goes to the state. It doesn't go to the child, not all of it. Sometimes none of it does because you got to repay the state for taking care of the child that was born out of wedlock. So there's this whole big old thing going on. Then you got the new slavery where they've put all these guns into our community. They have fixed it to where Black folks, a generation or two of Black folks have had degenerate generations, and so they don't produce anything. They only suck, you know, from the system. They torment the system. And so we got all these things, these problems that they created in our community. And so now this Project 2025 thing is getting ready to hit. And the white folks are like, oh, we're going to fix it. We're going to get our country back. Their country back, meaning they're going back to Jim Crow. they're going back to black codes. Damn near going back to slave codes, because now they have allowed all these immigrant groups to come here, and they're going to be working and doing jobs that we used to be able to get, and now we can't get because they are in confederacy with Whitelandia, Whitey, Mr. Charlie, and Children of the Corn, and all of them. And so black people are like really at a disadvantage. And we around here going on vacation and, doing stuff like that's just out of order and foul. Not really paying attention to what Project 2025 really is speaking to. They're speaking to civil war. And I've been talking about this since 2016, and I see it as clear as day. Between now and 2026, I see civil war happening, if not before then. Um, Banks are collapsing. Supply chaining. The weather is being fueled by energy weapons, and we're having natural disasters that are like nothing that we've ever seen before. All of it has been prophesied, but when you talk about reality and the real, how it's going to hit us, it's going to hit us, and it's going to hit our communities hard. But like where we are now, if you live in a black community, they're gonna be more toxic because they're getting ready to start building out. Even where I live, here in this little town, I read in the paper the other day that they're building a affordable housing community for elderly people in the black community, where an old school and textile mill or some kind of steel plant, something used to be, old piece of land in a black community. Most black people in the community didn't even know it was coming. The people who uh, are in the paper quoted for approving the project are white, of course. They ain't putting those things in their communities. Only where black people live is where the development is happening. And black people just seem to just like not know shit. Excuse my expression, but like I'm really getting frustrated with us. It's so few of us awaken, and all this stuff is happening, and when you go to tell people, they look at you like you got two heads. If you want to write an editorial about it and talk about it in the paper, ain't nobody going to read it from our community because we don't read nothing. And so it's just like, well, what do? We're supposed to keep sounding the alarm because we're watchmen, but like civil war is coming. They have set the atmosphere and made our community so degenerate, so ignorant, um, so dysfunctional that all we can do is just sit back and watch it happen. And we're going to annihilate each other, and they're going to get a kick out of it. Those who get caught are going to be put into the system, and they're going into the new, slavery system. Um, if you don't have a job and you're not able to adapt to the changes, or you're not willing to go along with the um, things for the no buy, no sell system, you're gonna, that's a whole other problem. But our community has a lot of stuff that's getting ready to happen. So I'm gonna play this video clip from Dr. Rashad Richey from Indisputable about the Project 2025 leader, who is of the Heritage Foundation. If you know anything about the Heritage Foundation, it's supposed to be Christian, but just remove Christian and put racist, and same thing. It's a white supremacist movement. Sanction it lobbies in Congress. A lot of the white politicians and a few blacks are members of it. They are doorsteps away from the White House, so they have all sorts of pull, and they have been giving conservative presidents lists of judges to put on federal benches and for the Supreme Court for decades. So now during the Trump administration, the courts were stacked with lots of federal judges. Well, now those judges are getting ready to move on behalf of conservatives. And that was the whole goal. So, while folks are distracted about Donald Trump and his personal legal issues, the big thing was those judges that he placed in seats were young and they got lifetime appointments. So now those judges are getting ready to move on behalf of who? The Catholic Church. Replace Christian with Catholic, replace Christian with Rome, replace Christian with the Pope, and now you're getting ready to see them getting ready to come after us. And while everybody's going to be, you know, harmed by whatever's getting ready to come, is going to harm African American Black people the most. So it doesn't matter who wins the presidency. It doesn't matter which party is in power. Both parties have agendas and roles to play at tearing down this nation and tearing up our community and doing things policy wise, um, culturally, that destroys our ways. And it's going to be devastating to see what happens. It's already devastating now to see what's happening, but I'm going to let y'all listen to what this guy says. So y'all hear that? So they you might as well replace the Second American Revolution with the Confederacy, because that's basically all they're trying to do is fix it to where Black people are slaves again and excluded from society. Black people seem to be oblivious to the changes that are happening in their community with who's buying up the gas stations, who's putting in all the vape shops and all the negative stuff that our community doesn't need to profit off of our people. We don't have decent food in our communities. Our places where our houses are toxic. Go where our houses are and look how close we are to landfills, dumps, toxic companies, corporations. This is where we are. That's where they put them. They never put this stuff in white people's communities, always in our communities. And all the legislation that's coming out, or all of the legislation that has been rolled back thanks to Supreme Court decisions, they're going to hurt us. Then you look at the things that are happening in your states and locally when it comes to policies being rolled back, um, uh, criminality, misdemeanors, crime, shoplifting, juvenile issues, schools not doing what they're supposed to do, but just passing kids through. That was done during the Obama administration, basically making it where kids don't fail, so kids don't know nothing and get out of school, they're dumb as rocks. Um, they changed the way that they teach the kids, so now the parents can't help the kids do homework, just all kind of dumb stuff. And people still send their kids to school, and the kids, most kids not excelling. um, it's a lot of things that are happening in our society in addition to all the other stuff that we be talking about. So society's getting ready to change. Project 2025 is going to make white people hostile like it did when Trump got elected. You know how they were real froggy and it's like, oh yeah, Trump, that's our guy. That's our guy. Trump, Trump, Trump. They're getting ready to be like that again. And this time, because they've been protected by the Supreme Court for their violence, the next time they're going to be successful. And the next time they're going to redirect their attention to us, because that's always, they have that perpetual hatred of us. That's always their target. So we have to be ready. We have to listen to this. And I know people are like, oh, it ain't no big deal. Oh, it ain't no big deal. People who say that don't live in the South. Like, we know our white people. They ready. They ready. They are ready. They've been ready since Trump. They've been ready since Obama got elected. White people been ready to tear this mother down since 2008. People who live in liberal states, people who live up north, people who don't really have any experience with southern white people from the original 13 colonies, they don't have no clue about what's about to pop off. They also really don't understand the hidden hands and the agenda. They, even though they understand that, they just don't understand the nature of whiteness and white supremacy and the perpetual hatred of Black people. And even if they're mad at other people, even if white people are mad at other people, they're gonna find a way to come at us because that's just what they do. Low hanging fruit. Easy to attack us because we are already under submission. Easy to attack us because our homes are already divided. Easy to attack us because most Black men now have been emasculated and are effeminate through, pick a struggle, poor parenting, uh, bad schooling, lack of fathers in the home, breakdown in, the nuclear family, uh, hip hop music. Our culture is trash now. Reality TV, poor, just you name it, poor health, poor diets, genetically modified food, drugs, alcohol, um, ratchet women, sorry men. I like just crazy. Grandma and them don't help with the kids no more. You got to send them to daycare. Grandma out here trying to be 35 with the teenage children. It's just our society, our culture, and our community is trash. So we are walking trash can. And the Most High is going to come back and judge us, and He's going to start with us. So we have to understand that we really need to be aware of Project 2025, but we also need to get our houses in order, and we need to correct our community. Um, I have two stories that I want to share about two Black boys, but I'm gonna do it in a different video. Everything starts with our Black boys, and I keep going back to in Egypt where they wanted to get rid of the first the all the males, and throughout history, it doesn't matter if it was a baby or the men or whatever. Like we were always under attack. It's the same thing today, same tactics, same spirit, and our people just are asleep. We don't understand that this is a spiritual battle. And the spirit is in the music, the spirit is in the drugs, the spirit is in the air, the spirit is in the water, the spirit is in the toothpaste, the spirit is at the schoolhouse with the school teachers and the principal. The school is, not school, the spirit is everywhere, and we just don't get it. And the spirit is growing where, we are getting ready to be in a situation where we don't have anywhere to hide. We're not going to have protections. You're not going to be able to have your house or your job or there are going to be few places we're going to be able to go and hide and pretend like this is happening soon. So we really need to pay attention to the Project 2025 agenda, and it's tied to Agenda 2025. All these things supposed to happen in 2025. It's a Jubilee year for the Pope, and so much stuff is happening between now and next year. It's not by accident. Everything is by design. And so this is why we really need to be praying. We need to be prayed up. We need to be spiritually filled with the Ruach, Holy Spirit. And we need to pray for our people to awaken. Pray that the Most High, I hope He just like do a paintbrush and bring everybody wake up at the same time and learn and automatically know how to war with their hands. I know that's not going to happen because a lot of our people are going to perish. One, because of a lack of knowledge. Two, refusal to be obedient. And three, they love this world. And four, some of them just need to be destroyed because they're wicked. And I'm not promoting anybody be destroyed, but I just know throughout the Torah or Bible, a lot of our people were destroyed because they did not want to get in line. It just came from bad seeds. They had generational curses. They were not raised right. They wasn't gonna produce no good fruit. And God was just like, get rid of them. They got to go. Those times coming back. It's a whole bunch of people that have produced people that ain't no good. I'm just keep it a buck. And they just keep on producing generations of people that are not any good. And the Most High keeps trying to get us to get right, and those generations are not doing so. And so you're going to find soon that some people are going to be gone, and they're going to be in our families. They're not always the bad people. They're also going to be people who wouldn't help and reach back and take care of folks. Some folks in our community are so cruel and cold. They have the resources, they have the time, and won't help. Those people are going to have to give an account too. So we got a lot of watchmen, we got a lot of people, a lot of things happening. And with this project 2025 man talking about what he gonna do, it is gonna get bloody. Y'all better believe these white people. They ready. They ready. And I don't think it's by accident that we're just hearing about Project 2025. They don't have like almost 900-page document talking about all their plans and agendas for nothing. They're literally going to take us back to Jim Crow, the end of the Reconstruction era. You need to be ready for any and everything. And that don't even include all the other stuff with the WEF agenda for 2030. You're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy. You ain't going to have nothing because they're going to make it blow away with the storms they creating. They're going to take it away with the new tax laws, making taxes unaffordable and the insurance so high that you can't afford to keep what you got. So we got a lot of different things going on. They both parties, the blue and the red, Democrats and Republicans, ain't neither one of them black folks' friend. This is an anti-black country. It's an anti-black system, and it's an anti-black political system. The governance is anti-black, and they allow it to be anti-black. So don't get caught up in, oh, well, I gotta vote for this other side because they say they're gonna do this. It don't matter. You could not vote for Trump or the Republicans or the conservatives and go with the liberal agenda, and your children and grandchildren gonna be crazy. You're gonna be on welfare. You're gonna be cut out of society because their goal is to replace us. One group don't want you and they want to kill you. The other one just want to replace you, and they don't care what happens to you. They just want you to not be in society. They don't want to have to see you, so they're replacing you with their new faves who will do their bidding. So we got to be ready. Think about what you're gonna do. Think about who is around you. Think about the things that these people are saying. And if you're from the South, you already know what time it is. You already know the dirty, dirty. The dirty, dirty don't change. It just hides and it comes back out. But it's been out for a minute. So there's nothing new under the sun. I'm going to let you watch the rest of this and I'm going to end this video. Yeah, we not finna do that. Anyway, Project 2025 is nothing to be afraid of. Project 2025 is just a roadmap to what they are planning to do. It's no different than the liberal agenda that they've operated for the last 3 years. All both are dismantling every gain that our folks achieved during the civil rights era and made life a little comfortable for us for a little while, but that comfort is ending. So we need to anticipate violence. We need to anticipate less protections or no protection at all. And then we need to figure out how we're going to protect ourselves. We need to figure out how we're going to educate our children. Because you can't send your children into the lion's den and expect them to be treated well. These people who support the Heritage Foundation and they teach at your school. They work on the police department. They firemen. You know, what happens when the laws roll back and they can just stand and watch your house on fire? They can mistreat your child at school and you send your child to school because you got to work all day and it's free, but your child being abused and picked at all day long for 8, 10 hours. Your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. What happens when they build new housing complexes all around your where you live at in your black community and gentrify it? Or they decide to put toxic corporations in the midst of your community because your local politicians bought off. So those are things that we got to worry about. Those are things that we have to consider. And I just want to implore you that to pray. We need to pray. We need to repent. We need to seek the Most High. Ask Him to come quickly because it's getting hot. And I understand that a lot of things have to come to pass, but just because they do does not mean that we can't ask for protection, to be spared from all the negative things that our adversary is trying to do in confederacy with all these other groups. So, with that said, I'm gonna put a link to Project 2025, the whole entire agenda, in the description. I may put it in the comment section because the algorithms are doing a thing. But make sure you don't have any fear about what's coming because they can't do nothing they ain't already done to us. They've done everything. They've killed us. They've enslaved us. They've destroyed our families. They've stolen from us. They've taken our culture. They've exploited us. It's time for us to cry out to the Most High. That's what we need to do. All right, y'all. This is Marley K. Love y'all. And I'm out.